Avila has meant to you?
He's been everything for us this year. We got him from San Diego, and he was our long guy in the pen, he's throwing in down games and giving us bulk when we needed it. And then he turns himself into, hey, he pivoted for us. Got us out of trouble at times. He threw the 8th inning in a leverage situation. He's whatever we ask of Pedro, he's done. And here he was last night in a tie game in the 10th with emotions running high, and he throws a clean inning for us and gives us a chance to win it.
Stephen, your team does a good job of, whether it's a tough loss or a huge exciting win like last night, of being able to flush it and move on to the next game. Is that something that you have to vocalize to them, or they already just know how to do it?
That's who they are. We have put such an emphasis, and they have put an emphasis with each other. And we win today, and we worry about tomorrow. And when we show up each day, doesn't matter if we've won, lost, didn't matter. They show up the same every single day. And you walk into the clubhouse today, it's just like any other day. And that's the beauty of this group of guys.
Obviously, it's a big day for Gavin Williams. When you're watching him pitch tonight, what will tell you if he's on his A game or if maybe he's nibbling a little bit?
Fastball command. With Gavin, it's always about fastball command, landing the curveball with good movement on the slider, good changeup. But if he's filling up the zone, that's when we're going to know that Gavin's at his best.
Back left, Tyler.
Steve, you've got a game plan for the next day and figure out how you bullpen and all that, but what is in the aftermath of last night like for you? Do you stay up late? Oh my God, what a crazy game, or do you go right into hey, next game, how are we gonna play?
No, I didn't even think about today. Last night, the emotional roller coaster that we all went through those last couple innings, I felt it as well. And you go all of those places and you say, oh man, what's it going to be like being down 3-0? What's it going to be like this? But you still have to stay in the moment and make moves and keep the game where it is. And fortunately, we were able to come out with a win. And so I enjoyed it. I was with my family. I have a lot of family in town, so a lot of us just hung out. And, that was an exciting game. It was a lot of fun. And so just feeling those emotions and smiling, laughing, crying, all the above, it all came out.
How can the emotions of a win like last night carry into the rest of the series, into a game like tonight?
I don't know if it carries. I think what it is it's just a reminder for our guys that this is who we are. We don't give up. We keep fighting. Even when we get punched in the teeth, we punch right back. And that's who we've been all year. That's how this team has played all year long. And it's in our DNA. And I think for us, it's just a reminder of we can win that game. We can win any game. And I think for our guys, it was just that's what's going to be helping carry forward.
Steve, you say a long night, obviously, with emotions. When do you recall about when you fell asleep last night, this morning?
I don't.
It was probably like 2 o'clock, something like that. So I got enough sleep.
With it being your first year as a manager, just taking this all in, just how is that different as a player to now as a manager?
I think it's similar. You wear each game the same as I did as a player. It's just there's more stuff to worry about now, or more stuff that I have to think through. Whereas as a player, you think, okay, this is what happened in the game. This is what I need to do tomorrow to get myself better so that I can be better for my teammates. And then you go to sleep. But for me, it's all right. We got 26 guys. We got 19 coaches. So you spend more time on more people thinking about through the day, through the game, and you process that, and then you go to sleep. And so I think it takes a little bit longer, but it's still the same process.
Hey, Stephen, who will be your Game 5 starting pitcher, and what went into that decision?
Tanner Bibee is going to start tomorrow. He's been our best pitcher all year. I can't wait to get him back out there. And he feels good. He feels ready. He wants to pitch again tomorrow. And so we're excited to have Tanner back out there.
Back left, Tom.
I know you don't worry about Clase. Why don't you worry about Clase?
He's the best closer in the world. He's hung 2 sliders this offseason. This postseason, sorry. That's what's true. Anything outside of that, you don't worry about it. He's made 2 bad pitches. And for Emmanuel, the year that he's put together and who he's been his whole career, he's the best closer in the game. And I'm excited to give him the ball with a lead tonight, hopefully.
Left, Lauren.
What was your conversation with Bibee after his last start, and how would you gauge his demeanor from then to now?
Yeah, I mean, Tanner was frustrated, obviously. They got to him early, and I felt like it was time to move on. And, I don't ever expect Tanner to want to come out or be okay with coming out of any game ever. And it took him a day to really get back. But right away, when I talked to him about possibly starting Game 5, he wanted it. And, you know, Tanner's somebody I trust. Tanner's somebody I want with the ball in his hand at all times. There's times in the postseason where you have to make an unpopular decision as a manager, and I had to make one that night. But that doesn't mean that Tanner's not taking the mound with all of my confidence in him tomorrow, and so I can't wait to watch him pitch again.
When was it that you kind of reached that decision that Bibee would be your guy for Game 5?
I mean, we kind of knew that's where we were headed, but it wasn't until last night, you know, after the game, that we really made that a solid plan. And, you know, we try not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it really had to see how Tanner felt getting off the mound yesterday to make sure, you know, player health to me is number one. I don't ever want to put any of our guys into a position that's going to jeopardize the rest of their career. And I don't care if it's the postseason. So I wanted to make sure that Tanner felt 100% comfortable with taking the ball tomorrow.
And you're facing Luis Gil tonight. He was one of the Yankees' best pitchers all year, but struggled in the last couple of starts, and then hasn't pitched obviously in like 2 weeks. What are you expecting out of him?
Really good stuff. I expect him to step up and be really good. We got our work cut out for us. We have to have good at bats. We have to, you know, get him in the zone, and we got to hit him hard. That's just like anybody else. So he's got elite stuff, and he's had a wonderful year, and we got our work cut out for us.
Anything else for Steven? Ben?
So this is pretty granular, and you've probably already talked about it with your beat, but just wondering, so in the scenarios where you go and take out Naylor for Hedges or vice versa, if you needed an emergency catcher, who would that be for you guys?
I mean, David Fry can catch. So we have a number of people, you know, Schneemann has caught before. You know, we talk about those things, but we don't want to talk about it until we have to. But
if anything changes with your between start routine with one less day?
I mean, just one less light day, pretty much. I mean, it's not like I went out there and threw 100 pitches and I'm about to go out there and do it again. I mean, I threw 39 pitches. So I feel good. I'm ready to go.
Questions? Pointy?
Have you ever done this before, Tanner, pitching on short rows?
Yeah. Yeah, in college I did. Throw on Friday, come out of the pen on Sunday.
How'd you fare in that? Did you feel your body was okay?
Yeah. Completely fine.
Questions? Ben?
When did you first have the idea that this might be a possibility, and when did it kind of become reality that you were going to do this?
Well, Vogt told me right after the game on Tuesday. Yeah. Told me then that there was a possibility that I could be starting, so prepared like I was going to.
Any questions? Yeah.
What's the key for you as you enter this one to make sure that you're going out there with all the stuff that you want to have?
That's a good question. I think having an edge, having some anger to it.
Is that hard for you? Is that easy for you? Like, do you have to manufacture that edge, or does that come easy to you?
No.
Tanner, what's the relationship like between you and Vogt? I mean, you know, obviously you weren't real pleased coming out of, Tuesday night as early as you did. It seems like you two kind of have some give and take.
Yeah, I mean, he's given me some leash earlier on in the year, and I mean, it just comes down to trying to win the game. And then I get that. It's a tough job for me and for him. So it's just some stuff I'm not going to like, some stuff I'm going to like, but it's not my job to like it. It's my job to get outs.
Questions? Yeah.
Can you share with us your perspective of watching last night's game and knowing you weren't going to be able to physically impact the outcome and still riding that roller coaster?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a roller coaster. I mean, I think just both teams, I mean, going back and forth like that, I mean, it was to be a part of it and just to be watching from my point of view, probably I would guess one of the best seats in the house was probably it was a really cool experience.